welcome you all to this Sunday's meditation class. So I see today new beginners or newcomers to this academy, to this center. It's very wonderful to have you here. And today's topic is Know Thyself. Is our topic for today. When you hear it, it's somewhere it resonates with each one of us. Every one of us resonates with this. Do you know about yourself? Many of us say, yes, I know about myself. When somebody is saying something to you and you are in an argument, you always say, I know about myself, I know about what I'm doing, I know about everything, I know. You don't speak. We have that kind of attitude. It somewhere triggers us also, our ego. So know thyself, this is very ancient Greek masters use this. Know thyself. Plato was writing in his books, and Socrates, the master Socrates, he was all the time he was speaking about knowing thyself, and even all cultures, all spiritual traditions, somewhere they encourage a practitioner, a spiritual practitioner, to take this question, ask themselves, know thyself. Do I know myself? How to know myself? So friends, know thyself, just that phrase itself is such loaded and such, it can open the doors of our real knowingness about the self inside us, the inner being inside us. It's a discovery process. We need to discover ourselves. The world is suffering because number one is they don't know about themselves. Lack of self-knowledge. When we don't know about ourselves, we don't know about anything about what's happening here. We don't know about what we want to do. Knowing yourself is a beautiful self-discovery process, an awakening process. So today we are, all of us are willing to know thyself. So know thyself as what? Next question is what? Do I know thyself as a rich person or a joyful person? Know thyself as a mother, as a sister, as a brother, as a father? Know thyself as what? Is the next question that comes to us. Because knowing thyself is a beautiful process. It's like we take the example of the onion. In knowing thyself, we are mostly identified with the outer layers. We come to know this. I am the body. I am the mind. I am thoughts in my mind. I am emotions and feelings. I am this personality, I'm very popular and famous personality. I'm a celebrity, I'm a doctor. Knowing thyself as so many identities, so many things that we are actually identified with. We think that we are all those things. Yes, of course, you're all of those things. You're a doctor, you're an engineer, you're a mother, you're a father, you're a sister, you're a rich person, you're a poor person, you are whatever those superficial identities also are there. But there's something else. When Socrates was speaking, know thyself, they mean that you need to know about your inner self, your self which is residing in us. This outer self is like a physical self or mental self or the emotional self. And we are identified only with the outer layers of the onion, the rings of the onion. If you go into the deeper core, there our identity of the true self or the real self is revealed, unfolded. We come to know. So mostly these outer selves, outer layers are called as false identities, illusionary identities, because these are lesser truths compared to this higher truth or the greater truth that is there inside us, which is residing in us. The true self is called the real self. So today, when we are talking about know thyself, we are actually talking about that self which is real self, the true self, self which is unlimited, unbounded, infinite, the self which is invisible. Other selves that we have, we can identify with them. Like the physical self, you can always identify. You know about the physical self, the body self. You know about your mental self. You know about your emotional self. You can identify. But what about the spiritual self? We can't actually, because it needs your effort initially to drop the outer layers to reach to the inner layer. To find out about who you are, you need to also somewhere disidentify, go on in the inner journey, know that these are your peripheral selves, your periphery, you are living in the periphery. But the aim is to really live from the depths, from the very center of our being. So friends, today we'll plunge into this, we'll look into this, we'll have clarity, we gain clarity through this Sunday session. You can interact, we can have dialogue about this. Knowing yourself is wisdom. Knowing about others, knowing about the external world is called as information, data and knowledge. Knowing yourself is called wisdom. If you come to know about yourself, you come to know about every other self. The earth self, sun self, this planetary system, the whole cosmos. Because the same thing is there everywhere. You don't need to know about every person. First you need to know yourself. Then you will understand about your wife, your husband, your children, about everyone else. Because the same self is residing everywhere. So, in our Bharat Desh, we talk a lot about this process called Neti Neti. I'm not this, I'm not that. Means, for example, you are able to witness the body, you are able to watch the body. It means that you are outside the body. It's an object. You are watching from your deeper consciousness somewhere else. You're watching your body, that means you are not the body alone. You're not the body alone. You're much more than the body. That's why you're able to witness it. You're able to watch your thoughts in the mind. That means you're much more than the mind and thoughts in the mind. You're not thoughts in the mind. You're not the mind. You're much more than that. That's why you're able to watch your thoughts. Sometimes, certain times, we are able to watch our thoughts. Meditation is actually a neti-neti process. Meditation is awareness, watching, witnessing. You're watching. You're observing yourself. All those identities. You come to know that neti-neti, I'm not this body. I'm much more than this body. This is my very, very outer identity. I'm not the mind and thoughts in the mind. I'm not this emotions, feelings. I am not the ego. Whatever ego that we developed, the personality, all that what is pertain to the outer world is not you, not true you, not real you. These are all outer things. So neti-neti process really helps us, all of us. They help us to reach to that inner identity, our self, which has actually no definition. You can define all the rest of the things, outer selves, these outer things. Your body has a definition. Your mind, your thoughts, you can define them. Your emotions, feelings, you can define them. Your ego personality that you develop, you can define them. You can say, this is me. This is what I am. You'll define it. But this is definitionless. Your true self, the real self, has no definition. It is an experience that we get. If you try to put it in words, it skips. You can't really describe that whole experience of the true self in us. That's why many fail to define what is real you. They failed. They try to give analogies, metaphors to explain. It is like sun. We are not the clouds. We are not all the dust and dirt which is clouding us. We are beyond this. We are the sun. Like in the sky. If you look at this sky, you may not see the sun sometimes. It's cloudy. Our thoughts are very cloudy, crowded thoughts, and we can't see the sun. The same way, if you look into yourself, sometimes you may not see your true self. You may deny that what is this real self, false self. I don't think it is real. Whatever you are speaking, it is nonsense. Whatever Plato and Socrates said, know thyself as a divine being, it's all only concepts, mental concepts. They're not true. If it is true, I will know myself. Because we are identified, we are with the clouds. We are not able to go beyond the clouds. So friends, this process may take many, many years, meditation process. Meditation is actually watchfulness, alertness, awareness, sitting with full awareness and watching the breath. Initially it makes the mind calm, silent. You'll watch your thoughts, how the thoughts are going, where they are going. You'll watch your feelings and emotions. You'll watch yourself. Then you will disidentify. Whatever that you are watching and witnessing, you disidentify. You know that you are not that. You are not the objects. This self in you is the true subjective experience. It's your experience that unfolds in meditation. So neti-neti is nothing but a meditation process. Meditation makes us realize that know thyself as soul. So, you are not the body, you have the body. You are not the mind, you have the mind. You are not the emotions, you have the emotions. There's a difference between when you're saying, I'm not the body, I have the body. I'm not the body, I have it. It's my residence. It's a temporary residence. I'm living in this body. One day this body, I discard it here. I leave the body here. I'm not the mind in my thoughts and thoughts in the mind, because they fluctuate, they constantly change. I'm not them. I have them. I'm not the emotions. I have the emotions. The problem comes to us, mostly we live in the periphery because we are identified with these three things. Too much identification. Too much clinging. We are very scared to even let go of these peripheral, superficial identities. We need to know, gain clarity that these are our outer identities, but there's something else which is unknown to us. There are known identities. We are constantly live in the only known identities. We may spend this entire lifetime only living in the periphery, not knowing about our true self. We may live like this for many lifetimes, many incarnations, many janmas. We may take many births to come to know that I am not this, because I am dying. Every lifetime I come here, I die. I am not the mind, because every lifetime I discard this mind. I am reborn again. I am not the emotions and feelings. This is neti. This is what we need to understand from the rishis, sages, meditators, senior meditators who dedicated their lives to understand. They did a lot of inner research. They searched themselves. They want to know about self. Ramana Maharshi, his whole life he was searching. He was searching for his self-inquiry. He came to know about himself, real self, at a very younger age. His whole life he was teaching about self-inquiry. He thought these outer identities, no, I am not for this. No, this is not my cup of tea. I am not here to study mathematics, science, geology, botany, computers. I am not here to work as a doctor or engineer. Ramana Maharshi know exactly about himself, what he need to do in this life. And there is no misery, no suffering, because when we come to know about our true self, we come to know about our true purpose, why we are born, what is the plan before you came into this life, what your soul has designed and planned. We need to know about that. We come to know about it. So friends, you can actually turn to your neighbor and you can say these three things. You can say to your friend, you are not the body. You can read out this. You are not, you have the body. You are not the mind. You have the mind. These three things you can say it loudly. Yeah, you can, both of you can. Yeah, join. Right. Yeah. Both. Okay, madam. Okay. Yeah. Quickly we can say to each other. Though it is an intellectual process now we are doing, but it can be turned into an experiential process. One day we can have the experience of, oh, I'm not the body. We can witness the body. Thoughts you can watch, and most of our issues and problems in life are coming from the body, mind, emotions. It's connected with this. Oh, I'm sick in the body, I'm not well, oh, my body is troubling me, and oh, my body is looking not so looking nice, oh, I'm not fair, oh, today I did not apply cosmetics, oh, I did not comb my hair today. Too much identification. Most of our time is occupied with only the physical self. We almost 18 hours, if you map what activities you're doing, is completely connected with only physical self. Oh, we plan about a breakfast, lunch, dinner, all the planning is done. Today I will eat this, my body needs this. Oh, I will go for this cosmetics and this one. I need to go to the gym and I need to do the exercise. I need to little bit stout. I'm too thin today. So we plan. All the time is occupied only for the physical self. There are people who crossed the physical self and gone to the mental self, and they constantly in the pursuit of developing their mind. Mind magic, mind power, think positively. They go on, all that intellectual process. They study literature, they study books, they study chemistry, botany. They have to be very well versed. They constantly with only the mind. And so much suffering with the mind, with the thoughts. You can't control them. They go on coming and you are not able to sleep in the nights. So many are unproductive, uncreative thoughts that we think. Thinking process is so uncontrollable. A lot of suffering is coming from the mind. Many problems, we actually enhance them, we magnify them, we zoom in, we say, oh, this is my greatest suffering. Nobody in the world has this suffering, I have this greatest suffering. Our mind makes it much more bigger. And a lot of people, many of us have this emotional identity, emotional crisis, fear, anger, jealousy, shame, guilt, identified with it completely. We live life like a victim only. Oh, I am not good enough. Oh, people take advantage over me. I am a victim. I can't do anything. I am very poor. I am like this. We will be only like a victim. Oh, life, if you just look into your life, we find this. We are only identified with outer layers, and it is really very painful for us. There is no joy of your true being. How many of us enjoying these outer three identities? Only those who reach to their inner identity, they celebrate the outer identities. One day, this neti process, discovering yourself, knowing yourself, will make you understand, this body is my temple. I am not the body. I have the body. And I celebrate this body. I rejoice this body. And I am not the mind, thoughts in the mind. I celebrate my thoughts. You are not identified, you are very detached. You observe them. You know how you can choose the thoughts in the mind. You choose the thoughts. You have a choice about the thoughts. They are not rampant, they are not uncontrollable anymore, because you know yourself. You know that you are not these emotions, and you know how to observe them, stay outside and observe your emotions. You're not identified, gripped with the fear or anger or reactive emotions that comes very violently. You burst out and you go on scolding people and doing all those things. Lot of relationship problems that we go through in life because of not knowing the self. If you know yourself as a divine being, you will know about all the rest of the people in the whole universe, the whole world, that they're also divine beings. Suddenly you have tremendous respect. You start viewing other people from a new set of eyes, a new viewpoint. So friends, know thyself as a soul. After neti neti, you discard what you are not first. I am not this, I am not this, I am not that, I am soul. We come to, if you, just like a sculptor, what he does is, he removes what is unnecessary, non-essential things. He takes out all that, big boulder, rock, he chisels out all that portions, he removes, and a Buddha comes out of the rock. He makes a Buddha from the rock. How it comes out? Neti neti process. I am not this. We need to gain that clarity. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the emotions, I am not the ego, I am not the personality. I am that divine soul. I am the self, which is free from all these outer identities, which is beyond the time and space. It has no definition. It is undifferentiated whole. This is called soul. Know thyself as a soul. In meditation that we practice, it is meant for this. We need to know that we are souls. This is called Atma-Gyan. Atma-Gyan is knowing that you are a soul. We only know so far. This is not Atma-Gyan. This is called only Bhautika Jnana. Bhautika Jnana is knowing that I am the physical self, I am the mental self, I am the emotional self, I am the ego self. This is only related with the outer world. So, know thyself. There are many levels, layers to it. After knowing that you are the soul, you come to know that you are a multi-dimensional soul. There are many, many dimensions to you. Many facets. You are much bigger than, much unlimited than what you think you are. You are a multi-dimensional. There are many dimensions. At the same time you are living. Because you focused on this physical dimension, your soul, you are experiencing only physicality here. There are many other dimensions where you are living, but your focal point is not there. That's why you don't have experience of it. For example, you are only watching my face. That doesn't mean that others are not existing here. You are living in one dimension now, here, only one experience, this screen, and whatever I was speaking, you are listening to it, you are experiencing only this. Doesn't mean that others are not present here. They are also present, but your focus is on one thing. We are all multi-dimensional beings, souls, who came from much more higher dimensional realities, who have come into this physical plane, and only because we focus so much on this physical reality, we identified with it. We have forgotten our true identity, multi-dimensional nature. There is astral dimension, causal dimension, supracausal dimension to the soul. And we are much bigger, beyond linear time and space, beyond all panchabhutas, panchagnanendriyas, Pancha Tanmatras. We are beyond Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. We are beyond all this. We are that multidimensional soul. This is a discovery process. As we go through meditation practices, we come to know initially, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, I am soul. Then I am multidimensional being, I'm multidimensional. And one day we come to know thyself as whole, total and complete. When we have only very, very peripheral knowledge, a superficial experience of identities like outer identities, we feel I am lacking in something. Oh, I am inadequate, I am not good enough, I lack everything, others are good enough. Others are much happier than me. And discovery process, we come to know that each one of us is Purnam, complete, whole, total. No exception, all of us. Some, they have realized that they're total, complete, all beings. We have that slokam. Anybody knows that slokam? Purnamadam, Purnamidam. Anybody knows? Yoga teachers here? That's a beautiful expression about the holographic nature of our soul. We came from a hologram, Purnamadam, Purnamidam. Means we came from wholeness. And wholeness can create only wholeness. It can create lack. It can create only half. We are not halves. We are full beings. We have forgotten. We are identified with only outer layers. We have just forgotten about ourselves. We remember again that we are whole, complete and total. Most of the, again, suffering is coming because we think that, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm lacking in these things. You're not lacking in anything. You already have it within you. You're already that. Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi. You're already that which you are seeking. Our whole life is, in the search. Outside, we search for love, joy, peace. Everywhere. But you're already that in the soul. You come to know that you're complete. You don't really need anything from outside. We go on in relationships, they go turbulent because we are begging for love constantly. Oh, I lack love, please give me love. Girl, give me love, give me love. A meditator comes to know that their souls, multidimensional, whole, complete beings, they come to know that I am embodiment of love, I am embodiment of joy. There's abundance. Soul is love. Soul is joy. Soul is peace. Is the characteristics of the soul. Mind is reactive. Soul is love. When you are discovering your true self, knowing thyself as a soul, you come to know that you are already what you are seeking or searching. You are already that. This is something very, very beautiful to know that you are already that. We need to wake up. We need to discover. So, know thyself as zero and infinity. You are same time you are a zero. Why you are zero? Because in the self-discovery process, you come to know that you are not even the soul. There is no individual soul. You are just a collective. This whole universe is really a universe. It's uni. Uni means one. It's one, only one, which is expressed as multiplicity. It's only one soul. There is only one soul in the universe, which is expressed as many, many jivatmas here. We call that identity as a supreme identity or the Paramatma. which is expressed as many variations and gradations and different peculiarities and uniqueness. All this is expression of the same divine entity. We call it as God, Paramatma. So we are that infinity, truly. We are that infinity. We come to know that, after knowing that you are soul, knowing that you are multidimensional being, knowing that you are complete whole and everything, and you will come to know that you are a big zero. Oh, one day you come to know this soul, even there is no soul. There is only one big self here. Mamatma Sarva Bhutatma is called higher truth. Lord Sri Krishna, he has beautifully told that you are not even Atma. Atma is the soul. Your soul nature is only one relative truth, one lesser truth compared to Mamatma Sarva Bhutatma, which means I am the all that self which is expressed through many forms. We are actually all collective. This is the higher truth. You are also animal beings. We are also plant beings. We are the planet Mother Earth. When Mother Earth is suffering, we also feel it. Meditators, they also are very empathic. They understand the pain our Mother Earth is going through, or others going through. They understand it. They're compassionate. They're empathic. If somebody is suffering, you also feel the pain, the suffering for others. You can understand the suffering of others. Why? Because you are collective. We're all collective. This is the greater truth. You are the infinity actually. Those who operate from this infinite consciousness, everything comes to you. When you live as Mamatma Sarva Bhutatma, all things will come to you. You don't need to search anything. You don't need to even ask the universe. Ask and it shall be given principle only works when you realize only that you are the soul or multidimensional soul. But when you come to know that you are the Mamatma Sarva Bhutatma, you are the collective, you are the entire everything, you are the infinity. That infinity consciousness works through you. Because you are actually all. So friends, finally we need to know that this is very shocking and blasphemy. Many of us, we think it's blasphemy to say that I am God. Know thyself as God. Very shocking for many people, because many people think that I become egoistic when I think that I am God. Actually, our real higher truth, real nature, we are all are gods. We have forgotten. We are not just Amsatmas, not the tentacles of the God. We are in fact gods living here on this earth plane. We have forgotten about this. That's what all the Upanishads were constantly shouting and telling to the world. All Upanishads only with loud voice telling, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, Anando Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma. All these are expressions of the Upanishads, the greater truth, higher truth, that you are God. Each one of us are gods living here. And Jesus Christ, He told this. Oh, you've forgotten. Wake up. Don't you remember that you are God? He said to His disciples, apostles, you are God. We are gods living here. We just forgotten about it. So, this know thyself is actually a self-discovery process. First we know the physical self, we know the mental self, we know the emotional self, we know the ego self, personality self, we know that, oh, I'm Indian self, I'm Pakistani self, I am European self, I am American self, I am Telangana self, I am the Andhra Pradesh self. We think we are identified with only these things. So they are only very, very superficial. How long we live only in the superficial, peripheral? We need to come to the depths of our being. Know thyself as a soul. Know thyself as a multi-dimensional soul. The next level. The next level is you are that actually whole, complete and total self. You come to know that you are the zero, you are the infinity. You come to know that you are God. If we can live here as gods, what a beauty that we can bring into this world. Not only you realize that you are God, you realize that everyone else also is God. Otherwise it brings an ego in us, a spiritual ego. Oh, I am God, you are not God. You worship me, you make a temple for me, put me on a high pedestal, you become my follower, you are my devotee. No, I am God, you are not gods. But the ultimate truth or the highest truth is everyone else also is the same God. Plant is a god. Animals are God. Why in Bharat Desh we pray to, worship even the stones, animals, trees? Because we consider the God is, everything is God. Even a stone is a god. Shivaling is a stone. We go and such a reverence, we touch the stone, Shivaling. Because we know that God is everywhere. When Prahlada was asked by Hiranyakashipu, you are saying all the time Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. Chant my name. I am the God. Hiranyakashipu he is Asura. He is fully egoistic. He only know thyself as ego. He identified with his ego. And he was telling to Prahlada, don't chant that fellow's name. Vishnu or God, your Lord. I am the Lord here, I am the God. You pray to me, you worship. And he was not doing that. He started punishing his son and scolding, hitting, so many severe punishments. He was refusing to say that, Father, I have a lot of respect for you, but the truth cannot be changed. The truth is the Vishnu. He realized that. And one day he asked, show me your Vishnu. Where is he? Show me your Lord, God. Is your God is here in this wall? Yes, he is there here. Is he in this floor? Yes, he is there here. Yes, in the sky? Yes, he is everywhere. Then, if it is the truth, I will now try to open this pillar. I'll break this pillar. Let me see if your God comes out of this or not. And Hiranyakashipu, in that mythological story, has hit that pillar. There is Ugna, Narasimha came out in the form of Narasimha. This story is telling us God is everywhere. Everything is God. Everyone is God. You are God. You can say, turn to your friend and you say to your friend, you are God. Now only intellectually we know that we are gods. In the meditation we need to experience it. Direct experience is totally different from only the intellectual knowledge. It's only theory when you come to know, but it needs to be translated into your practical wisdom. That's why sadhana is needed. Today's topic, why we chosen Know Thyself, is because with this, so many things shifts, transforms in life. Just this word, sentence, phrase, Know Thyself, is like a punch sentence. It's like a which can open the doors of this wisdom inside you. We suddenly realize that I don't know anything about myself. I am such an idiot, ignorant so far. We come to know that. First we need to know that I don't know anything about myself. People think that they know everything. That's where the problem comes. First, we need to know that, oh, I don't know anything. I am in only the shores, periphery, superficial. I live life from very, very superficial. I need to know about now. I commit myself to this self-realization, knowing the self, knowing thyself. So, in that process, from I don't know to I know myself as different things, it is a beautiful journey. Our sadhana will take us to those experiential wisdom. We experience it. Meditation is the way. Meditation is first witnessing breath, witnessing the body, mind, emotions, witnessing everything. Then in that witness process, we go to the next stage. The very witnessing process is called Vishnu Consciousness. Vishnu is called a witness. And we gradually move to the stage where we become Shiva Consciousness. Shiva is known as destroyer, who destroys. Shiva destroys that all those external identities. Oh, I am the body. That identity is gone now. Oh, I am not the body. I have the body. I am not the mind. This is destroyed. Mind is destroyed. Emotions are destroyed. I am not this. I have them. I play with them now. I celebrate, but I am not identified with any of these things. I am the soul. This is Shiva Consciousness. So in India we talk about Trinity, the Vishnu, Maheshwara, Brahma. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Brahma is nothing but your consciousness, which is the creator consciousness, the God consciousness. We call Brahma means creator. True creation happens when you realize yourself as God. You create them. You create your life. You create all things. So friends, we'll meditate now and for some time, and then we can have questions and interaction and dialogue. Okay friends, we'll meditate. We sit comfortably. Meditation is a very, very simple process. We don't need complicated methods for meditation. To sit very comfortably, join the hands together. I'll show you how to do that. For example, I'm sitting in this chair. What I need to do is I need to even cross my legs, because I have to make a circuit in the body, crossing the legs. But if you're sitting down, you're already crossing the legs. So, and also cross your fingers, interlock the fingers. Yes, because you have so much of energy can be coming from the universe, from the cosmos during the meditation. It needs to be recirculated. And then we need to close our eyes. We withdraw all the five senses. We close our eyes and then we observe the breath. Because breath will be our tool to make the monkey mind still and calm. When you watch the breath, Your mind will not wander here and there. That's the technique. This practice is called mindfulness of breathing. We all do for 10 minutes meditation now. I'll be playing some background music which will be soothing for our minds. Just observe the breath. Normal, natural breath you can observe. With all the alertness, awareness, watch the breath. Into your awareness field you may get so many observations. You may observe that the body is having some kind of tightness, muscles are aching, or your posture is little uncomfortable. You may notice so many things. Just watch everything. While you are watching the breath, you may also notice your mind is sometimes off track. It is going far away places, wandering into the past or into the future. Just notice it. Become aware that your mind is wandering and come back to your breathing, your in-breath and out-breath. When you are breathing in, become aware that you are breathing in. When you are breathing out, become aware that you are breathing out. Meditation is awareness. Meditation is doing nothing. Meditation is stillness, silence, the inner stillness, inner silence. Observe how your breath is slowing down. When the mind is becoming silent and calm. Know thyself. As this witness consciousness. Know thyself as the soul which is aware, conscious, all the time present in the background, watching everything. Last 5 minutes, just be alert. Watch, observe, witness the breath and the silent spaces in the mind. Be still and know thyself. Three minutes more. Like Socrates, Plato, Ramana Maharshi, Buddha, we also do the sadhana, practice mindfulness, awareness, meditation to know thyself as divine being, God, last 1 minute. 30 seconds left. Fifteen seconds. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. Okay friends, whenever you are ready, you may gently touch your eyes with your fingers for a few more seconds, and then slowly you may open your eyes. That's wonderful. Welcome friends. So we had fairly good understanding about know thyself. Meditation, we experience it. I shared about the tips, pointers for knowing thyself. Know thyself as a soul, as multidimensional being, as God. And in this process of meditation, we also come to know that know thyself as energy being, know thyself as non-linear consciousness, no time-space for soul, which lives beyond. These are all discoveries that we make. We understand our true nature, our true self. So any questions you have, you can ask. Yeah. You can.
When I'm trying to secure my concentration,
Yes.
it's getting haywire, deviated.
Yes.
The first 5 minutes I was not able to secure, and then you said that another 5 minutes I was able to secure.
Oh, right. It's a good observation that you made, that in the first 5 minutes your mind is distracted, but you became aware of the distractions of the mind. Later 5 minutes you observed, witnessed that you have an undistracted mind. It is able to be present here. The breath, stillness. The equation here is, when you are with your breath, your mind becomes calm, silent and empty. When you are with your thoughts in the mind, you are not going to be with, you will be absent with your breath. So whenever you are absent with your breath during meditation, know that you are actually distracted. Your mind is going here and there. So this is the key. Become aware. Where is it? What is happening in you during meditation? It's good observation. Meditation is clinical observation of what is happening to your breath and the wanderings of the mind and all that. And as you go on practicing this, and you will be achieving that stillness of the mind, you will disidentify. The mind will be there. The function of the mind is to think, but you will disidentify with the thoughts. You will only be with your breath and stillness there. That is coming in you.
Thanks to the background music, the kind, it's
The temple
it's
bells.
vibrating.
Yes. Thank you. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I also encourage newcomers to speak and share your today's topic views on this, and anything, comment that you want to add on or something that you want to share, you're most welcome. Yeah. Yes.
I came here day before yesterday for the first time. I have a friend who introduced me to this. Just I brought my 2 kids over here, and I was, in fact, last week I was not having good week at office.
Right.
But still, I took out time on Friday evening. Somehow convinced my boss saying that I had to take my kids over there. I was sitting just outside for almost 2 to 3 hours. But yesterday, when I was sitting for, that was Friday, yesterday was Saturday. I was feeling very happy. I don't know the reason why. So I just had a word with the friend of mine who introduced me to this place. She also told me that it is just because of this aura where I was sitting.
Right.
Somehow I have been passionate about learning new things,
Right.
new therapies, and reading the books like Ask and It Is Given, and then The Journey. They all somehow associate to what right now you are teaching us. So I feel today I am feeling very happy that I am getting the right track. I don't know which track it is, but I am getting the right track, and hope I further continue with this on a larger scale.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Brilliant. And yes. Yeah, here.
I'm not always comfortable with sharing things. And,
Yes.
it's my first time here, and I tried meditating before, but always not really successful. Today as well, I think I have a really long way to go as well before I start.
Right.
meditating. Yeah. And I read Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, before, and that's what actually really similar things taught me what you're saying right now, how to
Right.
meditate and how to clear your mind.
Yes.
But still,
Yeah.
not yet.
Yes. But it's a very good realization that you are not yet started actually. That you don't know have experience, you don't have the experience of the self. But even that understanding, awareness is very important. It makes us actually to know the self. You will journey into the deeper self to know. And there's no substitute for the practice. Simple practice of mindfulness, of what we said, sitting down, doing nothing. Actually, this crazy world, doing nothing is the most difficult thing. We don't do anything in meditation, is stop doing things. Because we are so habituated to do, run, think, and we have to stop all the activity of the mind and body and just be still, be like a statue. And that's the way to know the self. We have the direct experience of it. Thank you. That's wonderful. And yes.
Whatever I asked, question related to today's topic, is not related to today's topic.
Yes.
Of course, we are well known about Master Cyril.
Master.
Cyril.
Yes.
He was said, people follow my meditation. We have to look after nothing, we have to see a deathless state. But some of disciples, some of followers was followed those yoga.
Right.
But they are not done like deathless state of condition. Why it was happening? That is my question.
Right. So first of all masters, all the paths, they take us to the same place. Master CVV, Master Ekirala Krishnamacharya, Master Yogananda Paramahamsaji, Master Babaji, Master Krishna, all masters. It takes us to the same place. So, the practice is very important. Why people could not reach to that deathless state which was taught by Master CVV, the soul which is eternal, immortal, deathless and infinite. Why people could not experience it? Because everyone wants to reach there in shortcuts. Nobody wants to actually do the practice. To actually have that self-realization, they want to bypass these steps and reach there. It's so important, the practice. The whole method, Master CVV, whatever that he prescribed, if anybody follows it, they will reach to that deathless state. They will realize that deathlessness. So, many teachings of the masters, they can remain teachings, just like a theory, unless someone sincerely practices it. Follow the path. Initially, we need to be very like a disciple, discipline. You need to really sit, take out the time, practice it. Then one day we reach to that state of self-realization. And one day every disciple will become a master of his own self, master of his life, master of this knowledge, master of this self-knowledge. Did you understand?
Yes.
So the practice cannot be bypassed. Practice is important. Sadhana is important. So why people could not reach to deathless understanding or realization is people only learn the theory, they don't practice it. They come to pravachans, they read the books, they would remain like that. Reading the book is not the experience. Reading the book is one experience which is only theoretical experience. But one need to practice it. The sadhana is important.
That means you make a practice, then you have to go to death state of mind. Death state?
Yes.
Have you seen?
Yes, people reach to that state. All meditators, they reach the state with practice, with sadhana.
Because of I study some of the books regarding Master CVV, and then some of the followers, maximum his follower 98 is 98. I thought he was the maximum life. So what is the question? Whatever Sar was told, like Master C was told, if you have to follow my yoga, you have to see deathless state. But his disciples, that means followers, only one person only, that is was 98. The 98 is the highest lifetime.
Oh, you meaning you asked me a question about the deathlessness of the body. Okay. So it is actually immaterial. Deathless of the body is actually the nature of the laws of physics that we need to obey. For example, this body decays one day. We are trying to live in this body like immortal for 20,000 years. It's not necessary. What we do, we get bored here. 20,000 years living in the same body, deathless, we get so much bored. Same idli, dosha, upma every day. No fun. And immortality of the soul, deathlessness of nature of the soul need to be realized. This is the path. That's what is the realization of Master CVV. And whoever realizes the deathlessness of their soul will also expand their lifespan. Their body will stay for a longer time compared to those people who understands only mortality. They did not understand the soul, then they don't have connection to that infinite energy. But there are people who could defy these laws of physics, who could live more than 150 years, 300 years, Mahotar Babaji, he's 10,000 years nearly. So such living examples are there, but it's not necessary. I mean, some examples are there that they're showing to the world this is possible. This possibility is always there, but our goal here is not that. It is the realization of the deathless nature of the soul. Okay? Thank you.
One more question. I thought as solo him, I don't know exactly. It is soul or physical body, I don't know. One of the God took away from this land. Complete greenery ఉంటుంది నాకు I like so much. నాకు ఇదే కావాలి, నాకు ఇది వద్దు అన్నట్టుగా సోల్ వెళ్తూ ఉందన్నమాట. What is the comment about that sequel?
In Swapnavast, like I will repeat the question for everyone. So he asked, whenever he is sleeping, he gets a kind of experience that he goes out of the body, he moves to a scenery, and he spends time there, and as if someone is pulling out, someone is placing him there. So it's called, this is the experience of your Sukshma Sarir. We have, the soul has many sheets, Panchakoshas to the sheets. They're called outer sheets. So one of the kosha is called Sukshma Sarir. So Sukshma Sarir travels. Every night we go out of body in the dream state, and we visit different dimensions, different planes. So it's very common in Swapnavast, in the dream state, we experience these things. In meditation, people commonly experience this out of body, astral travels. It's also an experience. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. So it's really very good, friends, to have you today with us for this meditation session. And we carry the message of today's topic, Know Thyself as God, with us. And we join the next week. The topic for the next week is ego to non-ego. It's a very important topic. The problems that we face in life because of ego, and how we can really rejoice when we can become non-ego, where we drop the ego, outer shell, outer masks. So now I say goodbye, and for the time being, for today, and we'll meet again next week.